Hey, it's Jeff Sauer here, representing the Jumpstart podcast, and I'm answering a question that many of you probably have about our podcast, and that is, how do we select the interview guests that we have on the Jumpstart podcast? And this is a good question because it has definitely changed over the years. When I first got started out, I had a targeted list of people that I wanted to go after, and then over time, I started to adjust based on the feedback I got. Sometimes inbound guests would come in. I've actually had a lot of inbound guests, meaning people who said, hey, could I be on the podcast? I've had a lot of guests who were introduced to me by other guests or by students of my courses or by listeners themselves. So there's been a lot of different ways that we get people into our podcast. And it's not only focused on me choosing from some magic list of people that I want to interview. Really, it's something where I've gone with the flow and I've created a process that works, and we've been able to meet our interview requirements for quite some time using this process. So if you want to know how do we get people onto the podcast and you want to learn some lessons that you can use in your own personal outreach or in your relationships, then you're going to want to listen to this episode of the Jumpstart podcast. It is a very straightforward look into how we got interview guests. It's a top 10 list format, and I'm going to tell you all the things that I've learned, the things that were expected, and the things that were unexpected, and I'll even tell you about the people who said no to the podcast, because it's only a handful of people. Almost everybody that I've talked to said yes, but there are some that said no, and I'll tell you why, and I'll give you some more insights in that too. So why wouldn't you want to listen to this? There's so much to learn, and such a candid perspective as to how this all goes, the good things, the bad things, and maybe even some ugly things that have gone into my podcast. So listen up, and we're going to tell you all about our interview booking process.